Welcome back and welcome to the Washington Current Review. The well-known host here is Mr. Frank Islam, who is the CEO of FI Investment Group located in Tysons Corner, Virginia. Today, Mr. Islam's guest is a Bharatanatyam guru. Her good name, Mrs. Lakshmi Swaminathan. Let's get to know this beautiful lady a little closer.
This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics and other areas that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Mrs. Lakshmi Swaminathan. She's into Indian classic dance. So tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome to our show.
Thank you, Mr. Islam.
You're most welcome. So this type of Indian classic dance that we talked about, is it pretty popular in the United States and as well as in India? If so, why?
That's an interesting question. I have to think about if so, why, but I can certainly say that Bharatanatyam is extremely popular, both in India and in the United States. You would find more Bharatanatyam teachers even in Maryland, when we did a kind of a survey to see how many teachers there are and how many students learn, there are more Bharatanatyam teachers than there are teachers in any other given classical Indian style. Yes, that is right. And it is one of the most popular dance forms, even in India. And of course, in United States, you find a lot more people practicing and teaching Bharatanatyam than you would any other Indian classical dance forms. If you want to ask me why, I would be biased, obviously, because I practice and teach Bharatanatyam.
Please.
And I would probably say because it has all the elements that are essential to really connect with the audience, as I'm sure are other Indian classical dance forms. But there is the right amount of pure dance and technique and the right amount of abhinaya and expression that would hold the attention of an audience.
Okay, well
this is once again just my opinion, and I am biased.
This is your personal opinion.
Yes.
You talked a little bit about the learning and performing of this Indian classic dance for a long time, since your childhood.
Yes.
And when did you start teaching? And my other question is, what the teaching experience you have had in the other part of the world, in the different countries?
I actually started teaching when I was 15. I distinctly remember this. It was at my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. There were a group of kids there who wanted to learn.
So this is a part of your gene.
Yeah, I guess. They approached my dance teacher, and because Kalamandalam was a little distance away from where we lived, my dance teacher just looked at them and they said, why don't you just have them go to Lakshmi? And my mother said, isn't she kind of young? Because I was just 15. She said, no, I have confidence in her. So that's when I started. I started with a group of 8 to 10 neighborhood girls learning, and it kind of increased to about 30. Of course, this was at the time that I was...
This is when you were 15 years old?
Yes.
So you got a lot of followers then?
Through high school, I'm not sure about that. But yes, it was a very, very interesting experience for me to start teaching at that age. And I was also teaching at Kalamandalam, which is where I received my training. And then I had the opportunity to be sent to the United Kingdom in 1990 by my teacher, who was working in collaboration with an non-profit arts organization called Mritika Arts, based in Coventry, England. And so that was another wonderful experience for me, because it was completely different from how I taught in India. I was young, I was 15.
Did the English embrace this kind of dance?
I'm sure they do. There are so many dancers in the United Kingdom. But when I taught, yes, we used to perform in different places. We performed at the University of Warwick, I remember, and the audience was very appreciative. And the kind of teaching that we had to do over there was slightly different from India, because this was United Kingdom. The children are taught to question, whereas in India, when we were growing up, we were taught.
Yeah, they're suppressed. They're not supposed to be asking.
I don't know about suppressed. It's just part of our culture to kind of respect your teacher, and that you don't question someone as to why this is so or what this is so. But that is not the same in United Kingdom or the United States, because children have more freedom in expressing themselves or clearing their doubts. And I find now that it's wonderful, because you're able to...
They're exploiting their fullest potential.
Yeah, because you're able to explain to them in full detail, especially for the children here, because you're so far away from India, and the Really, I would say they don't know as much about the Indian myths and legends and stories about various gods and goddesses. As I mentioned, Bharatanatyam is a temple dance, so most of our dances deal with stories or songs on gods and goddesses. And unless you know the story associated with that particular god or the character of that god, you will not be able to portray it appropriately. So it is an interesting experience being a teacher in this country, and I look forward to many more years.
How do you promote this kind of a dancing into the American audience as well as to the Indian audience?
I actually am also on the roster of artists of Young Audiences, Arts for Learning. This is a national organization for arts and education, and I am on the roster of the Maryland chapter. I used to live in New York, and I was also on the roster of the New York chapter. And we actually perform school assemblies and residencies and performances where we go in. We have, like, when we do school assemblies, we have 45 minutes. I do 2 performances. One is called Rhythms of India, and the other one is called Storytelling Through Dance, Tales of Krishna. So I get to share my dance, my culture. I talk about India, about different aspects of India, about the,
being
of course,
a
the dance
great
forms.
ambassador of India.
I just love what I do. I love what I do because, as I said, what better thing for me to be able to represent my Indian roots and my culture and bring it and share it with, the children are tomorrow's citizens.
No
and
question
we are
about
going
that.
into the schools from pre-K through high school, and I've had some kids who have not been exposed to anything Indian, and they just loved Indian dance. I had one teacher come up and tell me, that boy is very shy, you would never get him up, but he was up there dancing with you. So this
So you
is
got
just
them excited,
fabulous.
energized.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
What have been the memorable performances as far as you're concerned? I know you talk about England, you talk about the United States, you talk about India. So which one do you that you cherish and you used to have a fond memories of those?
Well, if you're talking about the United States, we've been fortunate enough to do several performances. We actually had the honor of, a couple of my students had the honor of performing for the White House Diwali celebrations.
I was there.
In November 2010, maybe you saw them.
Yeah, I was there.
That was the year when our president was in India, and we had
Right.
our vice president, Mr. Joe Biden, join us.
Oh, okay.
And then we've performed at the National Immigration Conference for their New American Street Festival,
Okay.
organized by the Maryland Governor's Office of Community Initiatives. We've performed several times for the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
Oh, that's the wonderful thing to
Yeah,
know.
and also performed several times for the Maryland Governor's Office on Asian and
South Asian.
Yeah, South Asian Pacific Islander.
Right.
Affairs.
ABI.
And for the Interfaith Conference at National Cathedral. We have performed several times, 6 years, I believe, in a row at the National Cherry Blossom Festival.
This is how you promote, propagate your message.
I hope so, yes. And we also do several shows locally. I mean, we have performed several times at Celebrate Fairfax Festival. So it's not just in Maryland, but we also perform quite a bit in
Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yes, and in DC. So within the tri-state area, as
So
much
what
as
has been
we
the
can.
response from the community?
Tremendously
Tremendous
positive,
feedback.
yes. We've had very good feedback from most of the places where we have performed. We've had several people in the audience come up and tell us how much they have appreciated getting a glimpse into the Indian culture and dance. And from my school performances, as I mentioned to you, several children have come up and said how much they enjoyed learning about Indian dance. And of course, from the Indian community, we've been featured quite a few times in the local newspapers.
So if somebody wants to get into this kind of dance, how they get hold of you, and to tell us a little bit to the audience that they can contact you.
Well, you could look at our website, www.natananjali.com, natananjali.com. Or I guess if you Google me, Lakshmi Swaminathan.
Lakshmi Swaminathan, that's what you have to Google in order for you to engage her, and if you're interested in this kind of Indian classic dance. Right. What advice would you give it to the young person who's trying to get into this Indian dancing? What classic dancing? What advice do you give to the audience? Young person, who's the next generation.
Next generation, well, if you are trying to learn this dance form just to be in touch with your Indian culture and heritage, that's a wonderful way to stay connected to your roots. But whatever you do, discipline, hard work will get you places, not just in Indian classical dance and anything else. And if you want to become a dancer or a dance teacher over here, the same holds true once again: discipline, hard work, follow your dream, live your passion, and whatever you want will come your way.
My goodness. So aim high, work hard, and pursue your dream.
Yes, absolutely.
This is how you're going to realize you embody the American dream. So this is what you want to promote that message to the others as well.
Yes, absolutely.
To the classic dance.
Yes, nothing in life comes easy, but
Is it hard to do this dance thing?
It is.
Is it a very you have to be obviously young and alert, and also you have to do exercise to make sure you can do the right thing. So it's a pretty difficult thing to do.
It is. I call Bharatanatyam almost like yoga in motion, and it's spiritual and extremely physical. For my young students, I say it is a complete cardiovascular activity. You don't need to go to the studio or to the Y to work out. If you just practice an hour to 2 hours of dance, you'll be in the best shape that you can. Side benefit, and also because we dance to the songs of gods and goddesses, it's a spiritual connection. It also enhances your spirituality a lot. So it is it's for complete well-being: physical, mental, spiritual.
Physical, mental, and spiritual. You got it all.
Yes, you got it all covered.
Okay. If you come back 5 years from now, how do you see yourself in promoting and propagating this dance things to the wider audience and globally to the other part of the world as well? How do you go about doing that thing, and what's your thoughts and is there any things you have thought about it? For example, going to the in China and other part of the world. Have you given some thought on this thing?
Not really.
But remember, in Malaysia and Singapore, there's a fairly large populations of Indians.
Yes, and there are several excellent dance teachers and organizations there too. So it is, as I said, extremely global. You will find Bharatanatyam teachers in Spain. You find Bharatanatyam teachers in Singapore. Yes.
And Singapore, I can understand because the fact that 20% is the Indian population.
I'm Facebook friends with someone who is a Bharatanatyam dancer in Brazil. It is.
So you're into social media as well.
Yes.
How about Twitter?
No, not Twitter.
Facebook,
I haven't gotten to Twitter yet.
But you are on the Facebook.
I am on Facebook. We have a Facebook page for Natnanjali also.
Okay. Do you have any desire or the drive to propagate, to take this message and to take this dancing things to other part of the world, especially Europe? You have been to United Kingdom.
Yeah.
What about the other western part of Europe and eastern part of Europe and eastern part of Asia and Africa and the Latin America?
We would love to. We would love to, but I am just working in the United States right now. So given an opportunity, obviously we would love to go there.
Is there any global, there's a global community, but is there a global thing that is connected with this type of a dancing thing?
Not that I am aware of. I know there are, we have what is called an Indian Dance Educators Association based here in the Maryland, Virginia area, where we have it's like an umbrella organization for different teachers. And I know there is one in Chennai called Abhay. And I know there is one in the United Kingdom, but I am not aware of a global organization.
Is that what you have a desire? Maybe you could lead
that is a wonderful idea. Yes, that's
to propagate this message globally and to promote this dancing thing, which you have so much passion and you're committed and you feel very strongly about it.
Yeah, that's a thought you have given to me, and I think I should work on that.
Yeah. So, do you do anything else besides the dancing thing in your life? Besides, you probably got a kids to take care of that, and a husband to take care of that, and cooking and all these other things.
I do. But
obviously, you have a very busy schedule because the dancing. You go every day to the dancing school.
I'm lucky in that I have the dance studio operated right out of my basement. So my home is my studio, or my studio is my home.
So all you have to do is just walk.
Yes, just walk down the stairs.
And the student comes there?
They come there, yes.
And on a typical day, Mr. Swaminathan, how many people do you get, and how long this process and this thing, the exercise lasts?
It is very challenging in the sense that, you know, we teach primarily children and they are in school. So we have to wait for them from when they get back from school. So normally I start my classes from 4 and go all the way up to 9. I do.
So when they do the homework?
They are only there for an hour, right?
Okay,
Their class
okay.
is only an hour.
Okay.
I have hour-long classes
okay,
that I start at
got you.
4 and go on until 9.
Okay.
Sundays are my busiest days actually because, you know, obvious reasons, parents can bring their children. I start at 7 in the morning and go on until 8 in the evening with a 1 hour break.
That's a pretty busy schedule.
It is. But I love what I do, so it doesn't seem hard or tough.
So it's not as stressful for you?
No, it is not stressful for me.
Do you charge for these things?
Obviously, because
there's
it's
no
my
free
passion
lunch.
and also
There's no
my
free lunch.
profession.
Yeah.
So I do.
Okay. This is the charge that you do is for about a 1 hour lesson.
Yes.
Every day, 5 days a week.
No, they only come once a week, which is another big, huge challenge in this
Okay.
country because they have so many activities and so much academics to catch up on. So most of my girls only come once a week, except for my Arangetram girls, those who are going to be performing their solo dance debuts. They come 2 times a week or 3 times a week, depending on where they are in their practice schedule.
So would you say that your parents instill in you the love of this wonderful dance?
Oh,
And you said you started
absolutely.
out with 15 years old and your mom encouraged you. This is how you got in?
Absolutely. You know that there was a stigma attached with Bharatanatyam. So my mother was not allowed to learn this dance. So she really wanted a girl badly and waited for me to be born. When I was 3, she took me to my teacher.
Okay.
And but my teacher said she's way too young.
It has been brewing in her mind for a long time.
Yes. So I started at 4. So it is something, it's a way of life for me. I don't know anything else.
You do not know anything else.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming here and sharing your views, your vision to our audience. And thank you very much. And hopefully, as you move forward, you'll prosper. You'll be able to promote this message to the wider audience.
Thank you, Mr. Islam, for having me, and I hope the viewers got a little bit of glimpse into my life and what makes me who I am and my passion for dance. Thank you for your good wishes, too.
Sure, bye-bye. Thank you very much. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you for watching.
That was Mrs. Lakshmi Swaminathan, the founder and the director of Nathanjali School of Dance located in Bethesda, Maryland. Let's now get a taste of Mrs. Swaminathan's dance form, which is traditional dance of India called Bharatanatyam.
Namaskaram. My name is Lakshmi Swaminathan and welcome to the world of Bharatanatyam. Today we will be only presenting one item, Shankara Srigiri Natha Prabhohe. This is a composition of Maharaja Swati Tirunal, where he describes the cosmic dance of Lord Shiva in Chitrasabha. With sacred ash smeared on his body, the three-eyed Lord dances with his Bhutaganas, while the Devas and the sages behold this wondrous sight from the heavens. A Tillana has been woven into the song to create a unique composition of dance. Shankara Srigiri Natha Prabhohe is set to Ragam Hamsanandi and Adi Talam and has been choreographed by Shri N. Srikant.
प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री नाथ प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु भस्म त्रिनेत्र गले रुंडमाला 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 भूतन के संग नाचत भृंगी भूतन के संग नाचत भृंगी भूतन के संग नाचत भृंगी श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु झनन 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 धीम धीम तधीम झनन 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 धीम धीम तधीम झनन 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 धीम धीम तधीम गुंगुरु बाजे धनी उदनी तनो तनन नदुधनि धीम तनन दिदनि उदन तदन तनो तनन नदुधनि धीम तनन दिदनि उदन तादनो तनन नदुधनि धीम तनन दिदनि उदन तादनो तनन नदुधनि तनन दिदनि उदन तनन तनो तनन नदुधनि झनन 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 धीम धीम तधीम गुंगुरु बाजे तनन धीरना धीरन उदन तनन तनो तनन नरुधनि 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 तनन धीरना धीरन झनन 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 धीम धीम तधीम गुंगुरु बाजे धीम तनन धीरना धीरन उदन तनन तनो तनन नरुधनि धीम तनन धीरना धीरन उदन तनन तनो तनन नरुधनि धीम तनन धीरना धीरन सब गगन बिराजे देव मुनि सब गगन बिराजे शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ तथैत कीटतक श्रुति गति राजे तथैत कीटतक श्रुति गति राजे
दिन्नम तकुंदरे किटतक दिन्नम दिन्नम किटतक तक 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 दिन्नम तक दिन्नम नक दिन्नम किटतक दिन तद्दित्त किटतक किटदम दित्त किटतक किटदम तक किटतक किटदम किटतक किटदम किटदम तद्दिन्नम तक दिन्नम नक दिन्नम किटतक दिन्नम तद्दित्त किटतक किटदम दित्त किटतक किटदम तक किटतक किटदम किटतक किटदम किटदम तद्दिन्न दिन्नम नक दिन्नम किटतक दिन तद्दित्त किटतक किटदम दित्त किटतक किटदम तक किटतक किटदम किटतक किटदम किटदम
पद्मनाभ मन कमल विराजे पद्मनाभ मन कमल विराजे शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री गिरिनाथ प्रभु के नृत्य विराजित चित्र सभा में शंकर श्री